Hey guys, and welcome back. We're playing Vampire the Masquerade Couteries of New York, right? Coutier, I believe. I forgot to look up if it was right or not. My name is Myriad of Roses. I play video games. We play horror, dating sims, story-driven, other ones. So, I hope you like this. We have played Bloodlines 1 on Twitch, and we have played Swan Song on here. That was one of my first finished series. So if you want to check that out, totally do that. This one's a little different, but I was told that these are high quality stories from Vampire the Masquerade because I've been looking for the books. So here we are. We already tried it before, but it's been so long, I have no idea. So, all right. So the Bruja, I don't understand because they're meh. But I don't. Why is only one? I don't want to be a fancy. Okay, well, they look cool. So Torador is usually who I am because it's like a rose. I just wanted to be a girl, but that's fine. We look cool as hell. The divas seek thrills of art, romance, and cruelty amidst stagnant underneath. Undeath. Oh, I was like, what? A tormented artist will join the ranks tonight. I mean, that's fine. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. That we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate, you decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile, just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation kindred, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me, the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth bracket? I've never figured out how to say that one. And see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's... I should have worn my Vampire the Masquerade shirt! My sire's greatest disappointment, and it says he gave me the shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts. It's a little big, but it's fine. Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying, you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if it's given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys. And me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were expecting the confidence. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up at such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get me wrong. But it's precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy, asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York, and I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. You stifle a yawn. It's been a slow evening. The little bit of red liquid left in your glass and the crumbs on the plate remind you that, if nothing else, these art exhibitions, what the hell, at least come with some decent wine and legit catering. And yeah, it's fun to talk about your work on display, even if you end up discussing it with pretty much the same people as each occasion. You've already met that one critic who keeps telling you, with self-assured authority, how you should pursue a different artist venue. Then there's the obligatory doe-eyed art student who's oh so impressed with your technique. To be fair, you're not all that happy with your latest piece, but hey, it's not the worst thing you've seen tonight. That ignoble, dubious honor belongs to one of the other paintings on display. And yet, its author, currently being paraded around by his rich parents, has barely been able to grab a bite of the fancy canapes? So many sycophants to meet, so little time. For a moment, you'd think that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you should take the critic's advice. Cut your losses, sell out to some corporation and get over with it. And as if the universe wanted to validate that train of thought, that's the exact moment your sister Emma decides to pop up in your view. Oh, she's so cute. So let me get this straight. Cushy corporation jobs are selling out, but supporting a billionaire's vanity project is totally fine with you? Hi, Em. You absolutely despise her as an artist, while you're struggling to uphold some nebulous ideals of what art is meant to be. She's perfecting her ways of mooching off the system. Shamelessly preying on little-known street art and niche internet memes, she repackages them as bougie, friendly collages. Is that the right word? So it's perhaps no wonder that NYT has recently dubbed her a mind-blowing explorer of digital art's extreme possibilities. But in spite of all of that, you absolutely love her as a person, even as you welcome her by smacking the back of her head, a gesture meant to convey nothing but deep affection. No, but seriously, supporting young artists my ass. I don't know what kind of money you got for this piece, but I doubt it was even a fraction of what's going to be worth in tax benefits. The gallery owner actually said that if he had to choose his most valuable audience, it would be the IRS, and I'm pretty sure he was only half kidding. You mumble a non-answer, and then segue into a different subject, trying to preemptively quail her repeated offers to get you a steady job. Of course, she proves as insistent as ever. You know, sometimes I don't get you. On the one hand, you wouldn't be caught dead taking money from the inevitable winner of the culture wars. On the other, if someone gave you the chance to collaborate on some dumbass Oscar bait flick sponsored by Larry Elson's bailout fund, you do that shit for free. She rolls her eyes and asks you know what the only difference is between the art scene and the culture industry. The culture industry actually pays your bills. As expected of someone who's given up on attempts to infuse her work with any sort of enduring quality and decided to just keep responding to the zeitgeist. She claims to happily accept the fact that after she dies, both she and her work will end up in a landfill. When you respond that you prefer chasing a 1 in a million chance to immortalize yourself, she claims it reeks of an overinflated ego. But you've been down this road too many times before and managed to accept she'll never understand what's truly important to you. Slowly, but surely, you move on to more agreeable topics. Your plans to finally get hammered together on the most recent crop of garbage Netflix shows your friends have tricked you into trying out. Alright, gotta go, I've got a date. She peeks at a bunch of middle-aged men in expensive suits who have stopped pretending to care about the exhibition and are exchanging the worst lecherous jokes they've got in their stale repertoire. Okay, every third word's very fancy. I'm sorry, I'm bad at reading. I guess it's New York, they talk fancy, right? Have fun with your friends, class traitor. She gives you a hug and heads for a nearby elevator. There goes the pleasant part of the evening. Still, you decide to delay the inevitable and catch a quick smoke break. Truth be told, people aren't exactly lining up to chat about your work anyway. As you leave your post, you start tapping your pockets in search of a lighter. Instead, you find a $100 bill you're absolutely sure wasn't there before. Jesus Christ, Em, you're the worst. And the best. You could feel your cheeks turn red, but you gratefully put the money in your wallet and move aside. When you reach the balcony, you look out at a New York City and light the second last cigarette left in your pack. You're alone. It's not silent. The Metropolitan hum is ever present, even this high up. It's a good deal more intimate than what's behind your back. You lean over the railing and look down. The streetlights beckon more than usual. In your mind's eye, you see yourself as your final artwork, beautifully splattered all over the pavement. Working title, Delusion of Grandeur. The author, a brilliant artistic soul, crushed by unfeeling reality, gone too soon. You chuckle and flick the cigarette into the air. Freshened up by the night's cool breeze, you squeeze back into the stuffy interior, barely making a few steps before lethargy sets back in. It's like you never left. Still, something in the room feels different. Your eyes are drawn to a handsome young man, neatly dressed and groomed, eluding the air of a true artiste. And the best part, he's intently looking at your painting. The gallery is almost like an art installation itself. Now, people standing in silent awe, the guy like a beacon drawing everybody's attention. Hushed conversations about the guests can be heard from every corner of the gallery. Your heart is pounding with excitement, and you approach, feeling like a kid trying to get close to a deer in the woods, but afraid you'll scare it away. The man turns to you, and you stop in your tracks, entranced. So this is one of your pieces. You manage to mumble an affirmation. Tell me about it, please. As you start discussing your inspiration, technique, and process, the man's eyes lock onto the painting again. He keeps interjecting, making knowing remarks. This guy gets it. He really gets it. The world around you disappears. You'll say anything, do anything to keep his attention on you, but you don't need to. He's into your art. He's into you. I want to buy it, and I want your company. I need to talk to you. Will you like what I have to say? Spoken matter-of-factly, served straight up, like he knows that you won't refuse, that you can't refuse. An hour later, you find yourself at his apartment, one of the many, you presume, with your self-esteem all but patched up and your head full of fine vintage. You tell your host a lot. In fact, it seems like you're telling him everything. Where you came from, how you ended up in NYC, how you had to take out a loan to appear at tonight's event, how you took the long look down the balcony, that you thought about taking the plunge, and this time you're only half joking. You feel miserable. You start crying. He holds you in his arms. You feel calmer. The tears stop flowing. It's been so long since you last had someone you could not just talk to, but communicate with, be seen by. Who knows? Maybe there is hope for you yet. That feeling of bliss is the last thing you remember before passing out. Next thing you know, you're lying on the couch in the same apartment, hungry and dehydrated. How long has it been? Hours? Days? More? You feel weak, confused, abandoned. You look around in a panic. Is he still here? Thank God, yes. There he is, standing in the doorway. His voice breaks the silence that fills you with hope. Until you realize what he's saying. I am so sorry. I hope that maybe one night you'll forgive me. Always remember that in our parting moment, I wish you well. You try to speak, ask him to stay, but no voice leaves your parched throat. You taste something on your lips. Wiping your mouth leaves a crimson stain on your hand. It's not the wine. What the fuck? The door of the apartment closes behind him, alone. Again. Then, the pain hits. It's a headache, a lurching in your stomach, a burning in your arms and legs. It's all you can focus on. A panic takes you. You fall from the sofa and hit a wine glass. It flies off into a wall, shattering into bits. A mumble from the corner of the room indicates that you're not as alone as you thought. From where you're lying, you only see a feminine shape, stirring awake. You crawl towards the woman, inch by inch. The pain turns into an urge. You need to get close to her. You begin to see details. The long hair shrouding her face, the worn-out NYC hoodie thrown over her skimpy dress. She opens her eyes, moves her locks to the side, exposes her neck. A rabid instinct takes you. In the blink of an eye, you find yourself buried in her hair, smelling her sweat, mixed with just a hint of cheap perfume. You bite down and drink the blood from her vein. Wait. What is happening? You break away. You look at the girl. She lets out a sigh, goes limp and unconscious again. You try to crawl back, her dress rolled up to the side, and you glance at her naked thigh. You lose control again. Bite her leg. Drink deep from the artery. It's intoxicating. It's bliss like you'll never known before. It's beautiful. You break away again. Fall to your back. What the hell was that? Did you really drink her blood? She's not moving. Oh God, she's not moving. You check her pulse. She's cold to the touch. Nothing. No heartbeat, no sign of breathing. That's when it hits you. Your chest isn't moving either. Your heart is not beating. You are cold to the touch. You reach for your phone. It's not there. Where did you leave it? Or maybe he took it? Impossible to say. You stumble around the apartment, but find nothing you can use to call for help. You need to get out of here now. You look outside the window. You're high above the streets. There's no balcony, and the building's exterior glass is almost all the way down. You'd never survive the jump. But maybe that's precisely why you should leave the room this way. You've just killed somebody. Your life is essentially over. A sickening void is opening in your stomach, warning you that your reality is about to turn into unbearable hell. A voice in the back of your head tells you that the smartest course of action is to take the leap before it does. And the more you argue with it, the more reasonable it sounds. You're just about to pick up one of the chairs and try to break the window when you hear the clicking of keys in the lock. You freeze in place. This is bad. Your thoughts start racing desperately, but instead of rational course of action, only visions of false hope come to your mind. What if it's him? What if he has a change of heart? What if he sent someone for me? You almost feel your heart beat again with excitement as the doors open. Almost, but not quite. A man enters, not the one you expected. He's tall, broad-shouldered, handsome, with darkish skin. His suit is styled and immaculate. You've never seen him in your life, but you immediately see past his shape, looking to see his sharper nature. He is a predator, and if you're not careful, you might become his next prey. Good evening. I'm here to pick you up. A deep, emotionless voice. He turns his eyes to the lifeless body of the girl in the NYC hoodie and raises an eyebrow. I killed her. I think I killed her. Yes, that does seem to be the case. He approaches the bed to examine the corpse from up close. Well, this is unfortunate, but preferably to go insane from hunger. Quite a nice gesture, actually, if troublesome. He briefly looks at you with something like pity in his eyes, then changes his expression to a perfectly blank one. Listen, you may perceive your current situation as something out of the ordinary, but I've met hundreds of lost sheep like you, and you see, they tended to fall into two categories. First, there were the smart ones, those who carefully obeyed my every word and pull off any stupid stunts. They always got what they needed to go in safely and soundly. Then there were the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, a lot of them never reached their destination at all. The man talks in a bored, professional tone, giving off an impression that he really has delivered the speech countless times by now. So you see, despite being a smart person, I'm a Mets fan. I love baseball, and it inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system to determine if someone is dumb. If you get on my nerves 1 or 2 times, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful circumstances. But if you do it 3 times, understand that there will be no excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. His presence changes ever so slightly. Say, I understand, sir, now. You feel an overwhelming, barely irresistible urge to fulfill his demand. We're just gonna go with it. I understand, sir. Excellent. All right. Have you got anyone you'd like to inform about your current situation? Tell them you're all right. He flashes his fangs briefly as he talks, as for some reason the sight causes a chill to run down your spine. Something is wrong with him. Someone close to you? My sister. Emma, my sister. She's probably having a night out in Brooklyn with her artiste friends. Can I call her now? You take out your phone while asking the question. It was in your pocket all along. Must have been panicked talking before. He shakes his head and points at the hooded corpse next to him. You want to implicate her? Go ahead. I think we'd all be better off if you let me make sure that she only knows what she needs to know. Yeah, agreed. Give me her phone number. I'll have someone get in touch with her. You oblige and hand him the smartphone so he can copy the number from your list of contacts. Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this night onwards, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up with, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anybody know you're still alive. You're forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes to search for you, it's over, both for you and them. He interrupts his monotone recitation to stare deep into your eyes. So if you don't want someone to find your poor sister's body in the Hudson River next week, cooperate. The sight of his fangs, again, and another physical fight-or-flight response. You played right into his hands, putting Em in danger. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. By now, you are absolutely sure he's just toying with you, provoking you to feed on your reactions. He hasn't told you where you're going yet, but he's already made it abundantly clear that a lot of people struggled hard to avoid getting there. You'd be far more eager to cooperate if he never raised the subject, but he made a point to make you fear the unknown. He's pushing you, but to what end? Does he want to intimidate you into complete submission? Is he hoping you give him an excuse to get rid of you? Or maybe he's testing you, forcing you to show what you are made of. Somehow, he makes all of these options seem plausible at once. Alright, I think that's enough lectures for today. He takes a glance at his silver watch. It's a Patek Philippe. The kind of brand mere mortals never see outside of luxury lifestyle magazines. Just who are you dealing with here? It's past 3 a.m. now. The sun will come up in just a few hours, so we don't have much time. Come, we need to leave so that the corpse can be taken care of. He turns his back on you to unlock the door. Head out. Okay. You obediently follow him. He just said he'll kill our sister, because I'm stupid. Before he locks it again, you manage to take a final glimpse of the corpse. You feel a pang of conscience, but not because your victim's horrible fate. It's because you don't even feel guilty, though you know you should. Something important inside you. Something important inside of you that was still there yesterday has definitely died tonight. You wonder if you'd ever recognize yourself in the mirror. The stranger shows you the elevator. You go to the ground floor. During an awkward ride, your dazed and confused mind desperately searches for a glimmer of hope, and eventually comes across one. Maybe you'll find the man you met earlier this night. Who was him? Do you know who the man was that brought me here? That's what I'd like to know. As of yet, he is unidentified. They have left no trace, and it's obvious they are not planning to come back for you. If, and that is a big if, you ever see them again, it will be tomorrow, and probably for the last time. For the last time? What do you mean? His face is inscrutable. I said what I said. All I can add for now is tomorrow is a big night for you. The elevator door opens to an empty hall. You walk outside, past the night's guard's post, which is empty. The cold night air reminds you of the balcony. Just a few hours ago, the man motions to a black Cadillac Escalade. Take a seat in the back, please. You get inside. The man closes the car door behind you. You hear a click as it locks. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side west windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without comment. Am I drugged? Was I drugged? Am I tripping? I don't think so, but then again, who knows what that girl had in her bloodstream? He stops mid-sentence and shakes his head. Forgive me, I'm not in a talkative mood. This won't be a long drive. Patience. Dead silence fills the car. You close your eyelids and sink back into your thoughts. A blurry after-image of the man who brought your painting is still there. It's strange, you never felt this way about your body. About anybody. It makes you happy, even though you have the nagging thought that there's something fundamentally abusive about this attraction. But then the girl's hair, spilled over the purple hoodie, and her blood, spilled over the cold floor, come to sharp focus. You wince. You want to cry, but as if there was no more tears left in you. After it feels like an eternity, the car comes to a stop. You get out in an underground parking lot. It's an ugly, concrete gray thing, empty. But for the car you came in, it looks like there's room beyond a metal door in the wall. Guess you'll live to see another night. Follow me. He opens the metal door and lets you inside. Here we are. These are your lodgings for tonight. If you get hungry, again, Take a look at the fridge. Tomorrow I will come pick you up. The cramped room has no windows, just a simple bed, a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, a small humming fridge, and a rattling AC fan in the wall. It has all the coziness of a solitary prison cell. You notice claw marks on the inner side of the entrance door. Mercy, please. You gotta have some mercy, man. Let me go. Mercy. Mercy? No. Too late for that. Listen. Normally I lose my nerve right about now and things will get nasty, but I get it. You're scared. You don't understand what's happening. Trust me. You will learn more tomorrow, but now I need you to rest and you need to go to rest. He gestures inside the room. Finding no more willpower to resist, you step inside. The stranger nods contently. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very secure and sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there filled with red liquid, unlabeled. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame, kind of grimy and damp. Seeing it makes you grimace, but you're just too tired not to lie down. Your entire body hurts, a dull feeling that makes you feel heavy. You feel vulnerable and lonely. Usually, when this happened, you turn your attention to a painting, not just think about the alternative. Your family upbringing left you with no skills but artistic talent. Creating art used to be something of an unpleasant duty. Somewhere along the line, though, it became the only weapon you had to fight with existential despair. Some of your best work was created in lieu of importantly crying in bed. Hell, you're pretty sure a few of those pieces had your tears mixed in with the paint, like the painting that led your whole night to this. You look back at your life, start looking like a downward spiral. You are so tired, your entire body tenses up, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. That was so fast. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel quite like sleep, more like plummeting into endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged, the lamp is still on, the AC is still rattling, the refrigerator still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You slept for 17 hours straight. Jesus Christ. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you're certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there. Take a closer look at it. If it is soup, then its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out, take a whiff. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating. But now it's almost, no, not almost. It is enticing. We're going to drink it. Look at little vampire symbols. It feels wrong, but right now there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. To hell with it. You pour a bit of the liquid into your mouth. It tastes bland. Reminds you of a cheap supermarket juice. Just enough flavor to register as what it claims to be on the box, but nothing like the real thing. Nothing like what you had last time. You swallow it. Somehow you don't feel sick. It's a weird, messed up way you can't help but think it feels nourishing. Take a few more sips, and then just another one. Suck on the bag for a little more. Eventually, you find that you've emptied it entirely. You look at the info press inside the bag. 450 milliliters of it. Even with its blandness, you still feel like having more. You realize your body longs for that intoxicating high you felt when an image of that corpse crosses your mind, causing you to wince. What have you become? You try to pierce your thoughts together, making sense of it all, when you hear the lock click and you see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again, the predatory look, like a hawk on a hunt. But somehow more relaxed tonight. So like a team talk, maybe. Good evening. Slept well? He notices the discarded, emptied bag. So you had a bit of a snack? Am I still human? Luckily, one does not typically shed their entire humanity in 2 nights. You should be fine. Come on, we've got places to be. The car is humming with the empty parking lot just outside the door of the cramped room you have spent the day in. The man motions to it, politely, but with a stern look on his face. Get inside the car. Okay, lead the way. After you. You take the back seat again. The door locks. The stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic humming in the car engine. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked all right. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you realize now that you're hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen, and spreads to your chest, throat, and the back of your head. You try to extract some information out of the man behind the wheel, but you realize you prefer to bask in the afterglow of your last meal. You wouldn't have expected it, but you spend the rest of the trip lost in your thoughts. A lot of them concern blood. It takes you another 20 minutes or so to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York, that much is certain. Queens? Maybe. Wait, you know exactly where you are. The nice-looking two-story building has a logo you immediately recognize. Alright. I think that's good for episode 1. I want to keep it... I don't know how long the chapters are, but I think we're going to do 30 minutes. That way I can... It's hard to read. There are a lot of big words, so... Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay spooky. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.